Hello, everyone. Happy wife, happy life. We've all heard this saying before. As men, we were raised to understand that if we gave a woman everything that she could possibly want, that in return, that woman would give that man everything he could possibly need. It's a beautiful story, isn't it? However, it is complete and total bullshit. Today, I'll share a story that proves that giving a woman everything she could possibly want does not result in the man getting everything he can possibly need. Instead, giving her everything she could possibly want results in him getting nothing that he could possibly need. A few weeks ago, I had a woman that I have known for a number of years. In this case, we'll call her Jessica. Jessica reached out to me because she had a dating situation. She needed a male perspective on it. Jessica had about a year ago gone on a number of dates with a guy, and for our story, we'll call him Dave. Jessica and Dave had gone on those dates, and before it moved from just casual dating to something more serious, Jessica had a medical situation, and so she stepped back from the dating scene. She is out of the dating scene for about 9 months. During that time, Jessica and Dave, they continued to talk via the phone and text messaging, but they didn't go on any dates and they didn't see each other in person. Once Jessica's health situation improved, she went on a few more dates with Dave. However, she decided that she just didn't see a romantic future with him, and as she put it, she wasn't feeling it. However, she didn't want to continue to lead Dave on or, have him continue to invest in her when she wasn't feeling it. So she decided to quickly cut it off. She called him. She was polite. She was kind, but she was firm. She said that she didn't see a romantic future with Dave, and while they could remain friends if he wanted to, that she wasn't going to continue dating Dave any longer. Jessica did not want me to give any advice on the decision that she had made about cutting off the relationship. Instead, she wanted my opinion on how Dave had reacted, and more importantly, had she done something to cause Dave to react that way. She also wanted to know what she should do going forward. Dave, in so many words, Dave started to grovel. Dave said a number of things, including that Jessica was the best woman that he had ever met in all of his life, and that he couldn't imagine finding someone better. He told her that he would wait around for her if she somehow changed her mind. He even went so far as to say that if Jessica was there with him in person, he'd give her a big hug and tell her everything was all right. Yeah, that was a lot of sappy crap that was being said. Jessica, not only did she feel cringe and very weird about the things that she was saying, she almost felt angry because it appeared that Dave had pretty much ignored everything that she had said. She wondered why Dave was reacting that way. I told her point blank that Dave was a simp. Dave had no self confidence, and Dave felt like he wouldn't be able to find maybe a woman as good, but potentially any woman whatsoever that would be interested in him. Dave had taken Jessica and put her on this pedestal, and now he was looking up to her like she was somehow his idol or his queen. Yes, queen, I will do whatever you have to say. Yeah, I know that because I was that way in the past. I was incredibly simpy, and I would idolize any woman that would give me any sort of attention. Dave, just like I did in the past, was desperate. Dave was so desperate, and one thing that you can say whatever you want about women. Women can smell desperation a mile away. Don't know how, but they always do. And desperation on a man is like wearing shit scented cologne. It will dry her up faster than the Sahara Desert. Guaranteed. I suggested to Jessica that she block Dave on all forms of communication. Block him in texting, his phone, block him on social media, cut him off completely. Not only would that be good for her, it would also be good for Dave, even though Dave wouldn't think that it's good. The problem is when you're in that desperation situation, and I know this personally, you feel that there is even a sliver, the tiniest sliver of possibility that you can somehow get that woman back. You will do everything. You will give up your dignity, your sanity. You will stop doing all sorts of good activities in your life. You will bend over backwards to try to get that woman back in your life. And that is absolutely the worst possible thing that you can do. There is no reason whatsoever as a man that you should be chasing or giving any time of day to a woman who isn't interested in you, at least not romantically interested in you. Jessica also gave me insight on one of the key reasons, not the only reason, but one of the key reasons why she wasn't romantically interested in Dave anymore. This was because anytime she had a thought, an opinion, whether it was politics, whether it was the weather, whether it was some random person walking down the road, anytime she said anything, Dave automatically agreed with her. She felt like Dave had no foundation of anything that he believed in. Rather, he was simply molding to be everything that she was. And Jessica said that she didn't want to be dating herself. Otherwise, she would be single. She wanted somebody who had beliefs, who had ideas, who had thoughts. And Dave basically was not that person. At one point, she even challenged Dave and asked him flat out, why is it that anytime I say something, you just automatically agree with me and you have nothing else to add? Dave's response was that, well, because everything you say is right. She said Dave was nothing but a whipped little puppy that sat by her side and just followed her around blindly. And she was disgusted by it. She was disgusted that this man had nothing to offer or add to her life. And she wouldn't tell Dave that, but ultimately that was the reason that she moved on. As men, we want a woman in our lives, one we can provide for, one that we can care for. And in turn, we would like that woman to also care for us and give us support in our endeavors. That's perfectly normal. But sometimes the price of that isn't worth it. Sometimes that price is just too high. And if a woman isn't willing to give something to us for our efforts, why are we going to do the same in return? And I know when I was in that stage of my life, I had this feeling of, oh my God, I would give anything for this woman. I would die for this woman. Oh, it was disgusting. Trust me, I'm embarrassed about that. The truth is, I really thought that. And I can imagine now hearing it from a woman's perspective, hearing it from Jessica's perspective, I can realize that that was so cringe. That was so creepy. It was disgusting. And Dave right now is in that stage where He can't imagine being alone. He is so desperate to be with a woman that he's willing to give up everything that he is. He's willing to give up everything that makes a woman attracted to him in order to get this woman. And ultimately, he's not going to get a woman that cares about him. Jessica cut this off before it could go too far, but a lot of women wouldn't do that. A lot of women, if their man becomes weak, he becomes pathetic, he becomes simpy, they're going to lose respect for him, but they're not going to walk away. Instead, they're going to see just how far they can push him. They are going to get nastier, they're going to get meaner, they're going to cut off sex. They're going to do everything they can to degrade and humiliate that man because they don't care about him. He is showing no masculine qualities, and in turn, they have no reason to show any feminine qualities towards him. And that's where you end up with these relationships that the guy has been married for 10 years and they haven't had sex in 5 of those years. You might as well just be roommates at that point if that's the type of relationship you're in. Do you want to be that man who is effectively walking around with a leash on your neck? Do you want to have that leash being controlled by a woman, any woman, and she can basically tell you when to sit, when to stand up, roll over, play dead, all that sort of stuff? Does that sound like a fun existence? I admit being alone, should I say being single, is not the most fun experience. I know that. There are certainly days that I feel lonely. It happens, it's normal. But think about the other side, where you have a woman who is abusing you, who is neglecting you, who is mistreating you, and all because you just want to be this passive little man that has no ability to stand up for yourself. I don't think so. Think about that the next time you have a situation where a woman says something to you that you don't agree with. Maybe it's your family member, maybe it's your wife, maybe it's your girlfriend. You don't need to be abusive, you don't need to shout, you don't need to act like a fool, but that doesn't mean that you have to be passive. It's perfectly okay to stand up for yourself. Perfectly okay to say, I don't agree with this. I don't think this is right. And trust me, there may be some women who will be upset, offended by what you do, or maybe what you say, but there are also going to be a lot of women that are going to respect you for that. And if the woman in your life doesn't respect you for taking a stand for what you believe in, then maybe it's best to consider whether that is a woman that you want to have in your life at all. Something to think about. If you like what I talked about here today, please subscribe to the channel so you'll know the next time I drop a video. Please like and share this video with someone who you think would enjoy it. It's going to be those type of word of mouth referrals that are going to help this channel grow, so I greatly appreciate that. Please check out the other videos on my channel, and I will see you all in the future. Take care.